Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am RPG Lover, and first of all, I want to thank you all so much for 1,000 subscribers. I'm so proud of how far we have made it in just 1 year. At the time of this video being posted, we have reached the 1-year anniversary of my YouTube channel and uploading onto it. To celebrate, I'm going to be doing two things. Firstly, a history montage of the channel and some of its highlights. And secondly, what you have all been waiting for, a Q&A. If you are watching just for the Q&A section, skip to the time shown here to get to the meat of things. Okay, that's all. On to the video! I'm going to explain my thoughts when creating these videos, and why and how the channel changed. It began in a weird way. I remember back in August of 2020 thinking about how Flash was going to stop being supported, and I wanted to show the world just how amazing Flash was, and some of my personal favourite Flash games. Looking back on it, I regret not making more Flash videos, but at this point I only made these videos for me and a couple of friends, and I had no schedule at all. I expected myself to be uploading about 4 times a year? By this point, I had little to no money, so videos were made using free recording of my screen because my laptop could screen record, luckily. And what about the mic in my first video? Well, that was just my laptop mic, which is why it was so poor quality. So yes, everything was made using freeware, including my first few remixes on Wondershare Filmora, the free program. Then we enter the age of remixes and music-based content. It was made because of my love of Smash Bros and how many gaming franchises I adore, and because of the quality of the remixes being made by channels I watched. They were also relatively easy to produce every other week. Next, we move on to the epilepsy story video, which was made without voiceover as I didn't want to use my awful microphone. And the story was personal to me, so it made my channel a bit more unique whilst spreading epilepsy awareness. After that, I did a couple of speed paints to show off my creativity, and this was when I bought the Adobe Creative Cloud subscription with Photoshop and Premiere Pro, so that there is no longer a watermark on my videos, so they are more mature. Then began my favourite stage, the video game essays. This is going to be the main focus of my channel from now on. There are going to be a lot more gaming essays and discussions, as it is what I enjoy most and what I feel I am the strongest at. I started them because I discovered I could use the PS4 share button to record footage of my favourite games, and to use the footage to create some of my favourite videos. After that, my creativity exploded, and I began trying all sorts of new videos to show off my talents and interests, from YouTube poops of my all-time favourite channel Good Mythical Morning, to one-off videos like the Sakurai when designing hero video and the Scary Stories video. But that made the channel lose direction, and now I have regained one finally, and here we are today, with more remixes, more game discussions, and more scripted essays coming soon. The next one is in September about Nintendo, so check back on the channel for when that video arrives. Thanks for watching the evolution of the channel. My one tip is to just give YouTube a shot. Why not make a channel? I made it here today with just a laptop mic and some freeware. You really don't need anything expensive to make good content. So go out there and make some amazing work. I believe in you. Question 1 from Super Speed Raven. What's your favourite RPG of the 2010s? That's a tough one, considering the 2010s was the return of many great JRPGs in the West, as the PS4 and the Switch began to surpass the Xbox One. Companies realised that there actually is still a market role for role-playing games. Honourable mentions will go to Persona 5 Royal, for managing to keep me entertained for over 130 hours and having a relatable teenage story instead of adults. Skyrim for modernising open world games with RPG elements and being able to laugh endlessly at the game. Octopath Traveler for creating the best looking pixel art ever and reviving Final Fantasy VI for a modern audience. And Fantasy Life for combining the job system of games like Final Fantasy with the everyday life and calming life simulator moments of Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley. But my all-time favourite RPG of the 2010s has to be Dragon Quest XI. It first released in the West in 2018. Dragon Quest IX is my favourite game of all time, but that released in 2009 in Japan, so I don't count it. This game has an anime art style that will help sustain the game's good graphics even 40 years from now. The game has over 100 hours of content, reviving the Dragon Quest franchise and making it more well known, adding a fun full crafting system, a very large party of characters instead of just 4, and being able to play the whole game without using the luminary in the party. The game is not just the best Dragon Quest, but adds new conveniences to RPGs, like being able to summon a horse at any time, or having a whole 2D version of the game, bringing back old songs from the series, and even being able to make an orchestrated soundtrack. Beautiful. Question 2 comes from Diltendo. How come our videos are so similar? Well, my good sir, maybe because you inspired my channel? Maybe because we both share some common interests? Maybe because we're both gaming channels? Maybe because everyone in the planet has to do a Q&A at some point? Just a thought. Hey you listening, or watching, go subscribe to Diltendo. His content is good stuff. Question 3 from No You. Do you wish one of Sonic's spin dashes was replaced with the boost gauge? I assume you mean for his moveset in Smash Ultimate, and in that case I agree with that completely. Sonic's moveset was very rushed since he was added into Brawl extremely late into development, and since then Sakurai hasn't had the time to rework Sonic as he is focused on finishing all the newcomers' movesets. Yes, Sonic certainly doesn't need multiple spin dashes for all of his moves. It makes him predictable, annoying to fight as, and not very fun to play against. Now, would changing his side special to boost work? It could, similar to Banjo and Kazooie's side special, where it has a limited number of uses. Sonic would hold 5 rings, meaning he could use the boost 5 times, once for each ring, which is accurate somewhat to the modern Sonic games. There is so much more that could be changed about Sonic, but I'll end it here for now. Question 4 comes from Ren Amamiya himself. Can you make a when designing video on Joker? Well, don't get me wrong, I love Joker as much as the next guy, but I have a few things to say about this matter. Firstly, my previously mentioned friend Diltendo has already made a video on Joker. I'll put a link to that in the description, so there isn't much point in me making one. Secondly, I know most of you are here from the Sakurai when designing Hero video, and whilst I am incredibly grateful at how successful that video was, whilst the video script, character choice and humour was my own, the idea and the images were still heavily inspired by You're Too Slow, whose channel is linked below. I made that video as a parody for a laugh, to cheer people up, nothing more. So the true credit belongs to You're Too Slow. Now this is going to be hard to hear, but I don't plan on making any more Sakurai when designing videos. It was a one-off for a reason. I don't want to copy other people's ideas. I want to atone and to make my own content that hasn't been inspired by anyone else. I want to use my own creativity. So, I'm sorry if you are hoping for more of those videos, but they aren't happening anymore because I don't feel comfortable making them. Question 5 from Callum Stormy XX. Who was your very first Smash main? Well, it's a bit of a history lesson. I grew up with Smash Bros. Brawl on the Wii, as I was too young to afford a GameCube or an N64, so I skipped Melee and 64. Growing up, by that point I only really cared about Pokemon, so my main was going to be a Pokemon. Pikachu was too complicated for me at the time. I didn't like how Lucario had a voice, and I never spent the time to unlock Jigglypuff. So naturally, I mained Pokemon Trainer. To this day, I still love Pokemon Trainer's versatility and being 3 characters in one. Although, I hate Charizard because of how overrated and overrepresented he is. So when Pokemon Trainer became Charizard alone in Smash 4, I dropped him. I then needed a new main, which became Link because I love silent and edgy protagonists, and his moveset just clicked, since he was easy to learn and hard to master. Then, when a Dragon Quest rep came to Smash, I mained Hero ever since. Especially since Hero's moveset is partially based off of Link. It was just natural. The final question is from Melfor the King of Heck. What is a question? Well, by my definition, a question is a statement that one person asks to one or multiple people, expecting a satisfying response from that person that relates and/or reveals the truths about a certain topic, place, or interest. But Google's definition is this. Feel free to pause and read it, and you'll have learnt something new today. Anyways, that's it. On to more video game essays and potentially a few collabs down the road. Thanks again so much for 1,000 subscribers.